Alright, let's look good for a thumb. Guess that'll work. Alright, who wants to start this?
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Shelf Control. I'm Lisa.
I'm Norm.
And that's Norm. Today we're going to talk about Cascadia. And happy Canada Day. So as this video is going to be released July 1st, in honor of Canada Day, we're going to talk about Cascadia. And I don't know why, but every time we play Cascadia, I think of Canada because it's got all these different terrains. It's got all these animals, and why not? You talk about grizzly bears and elks and moose.
Salmon.
You think Canada. Salmon.
It fits.
Canada. So we're going to talk about Cascadia today.
So also, they just recently announced when Nerdz Day is happening this year, August 11th, I believe.
Yeah, and we got this game from the Nerdz Day Hall of 2022.
Yes, so we're going to try and play through all of those, and that way we won't get a backlog for this next one that's coming out.
That's right. So hopefully before Nerdz Day 2023, we will have all of our Nerdz Day games played and reviewed.
I think it was 7. You'd have to go back to our unboxing video for Nerdz Day to get an exact count, but I'm thinking it was 7.
I think so too.
So, and we've played more than half of those.
Yeah.
I think we've played 4, maybe 5 of those. So.
Well, we've played one version of one of them, just not that particular version.
That's true.
So
yeah. So this is our start on the Nerdz Day catch up. So we've played quite a few
ketchup chips
games.
Link to Canada.
More Canada. Love those things.
You don't have them here in the States, and it's very sad for him. I don't like them. They're gross.
So Cascadia, we've played it quite a few times. We've played it at a number of different player counts. We just finished a 2-player game of it just to get our heads back around it because it's been a few weeks.
It's been a minute, yep.
So Cascadia is a game where you're building out a map of tiles and you're putting animals down on these tiles. The tiles have different terrain types and also tell you what kind of animal can be put there.
So you've got 5 different terrain types. You've got, I think, plains, water, mountains, forest. I said mountains. What am I missing? Marshlands.
Marshlands.
And I think that's all 5 of them. I didn't count, so.
And you've also got 5 different animals.
You've got hawks, salmons, elk, bear, and foxes.
And so the goal is very simple. When you're putting out your tiles, it's beneficial to keep the tile types together. There's no rule as to where a tile can go, but at the end of the game, you count up your largest cluster of forest, your largest cluster of water, your largest cluster of mountains, and you get points for those. So there's a little bit of trying to keep all of that together. But because the tiles limit what animals you can put down on them, you might need to be like, okay, I need to put this forest over here.
Mm-hmm.
Or like in this case, I have a big cluster of forest here. I wanted to add to my my marshland. So this piece of marshland that had a forest on it got thrown down into this corner, so that forest doesn't add to my total up here. So you've got with the animal bits, you have these cards. You've got these cards here that will give you different rules as to how you can score with the animals. In this case, playing with the starter cards, having the hawk all by himself, surrounded by no other hawks. Gives you a certain number of points depending on how many hawks you get out on the board that meet that criteria. If you ever put 2 hawks side by side, then neither of them count anymore. And in this case, with the bears, you want pairs of bears.
Pairs of bears.
Pairs of bears with no other bears touching
Pairs
them.
of bears.
As soon as the third bear touches that pair, it doesn't count anymore.
Because it's not a pair.
So you're trying to get breeding pairs separate, scattered out on your map. And
for your elk, you want them in a straight row, so up to 4. So you'll get points for 1, but you want up to 4 in that row to give you those points. For your fox, the red fox, you want to have that fox surrounded by all of the different animals, including another fox, and you'll get 1 point per each different animal that's around it. And then for your salmon, you just want a continuous string of salmon touching each other. So if you end up having 3 in almost like a triangle, you lose it. That's the most you can get there. So you need to make it continuous with not having a cluster of 3 in a rectangle and a triangle. So, and then those are just the starting cards. So the game also comes with other options. So you've got the A, B, C, D for each of the different animals, which make it a little bit more challenging. So, were you about to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say that gives you the variety. So after you've played with these A ones, you might want to try a group of the B's together, and the C's and the D's, and then maybe shuffle them up.
Mix it all up.
And mix
get
it.
All different kinds. So they get a little bit harder the more advanced you go. They have A's, B's, C's, and D's. And of course the D's are going to be the most challenging, and they give you kind of directions on how to interpret it and get that fulfilled. We haven't done the D's, I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think we have.
We play this so often with new people that we generally have been playing with the A's predominantly, and we've mixed it up a little bit for our plays, but predominantly it's been the A's.
We've played this with your parents. I think they really liked it. It's a very simple game to pick up, and it's one that's, I don't want to say a time filler, but if you don't have a lot of time to play a game but you still want to get one in, I mean, this took us maybe 20-30 minutes to play a 2-player, and it doesn't take that much longer the more players you have, because it goes pretty quickly. But it's just a good one. It doesn't take a whole lot of brain power, not a whole lot of strategy. You still want to get your map pieces for the right terrains to touch each other, but it's not gonna fry your brain after a day of work. So that's what I like about it. I like I like the animals and just being able to chill and play without that competitive piece to it, even though when he wins I call him a jerk.
And we've never tried this, but if you have young children, they have a card that is just your family variant, and then you have an intermediate variant, and it replaces all 5 animals. It shows all 5 here, and you basically are just trying to group the animals together. So any group, if you have a group size of 1, you get 2 points. A group size of 2 gets you 5, and 3 plus gets you 9. So as long as you're getting your animals grouped together.
So that just allows younger kids to play?
So yeah, because you don't have to worry about, I've got bears touching my pair of bears, or I'm not keeping my hawks separated, or my elks aren't in a straight line. All you got to worry about is, I got a bear, let me put this bear next to another bear.
Okay. Because this says it's for 1 to 4 players, takes 30 to 45 minutes, and ages 10 and up. But I think with that, you can even get some little kids, 5 and 6.
As long as they can...
As long as they can sit still long enough to play.
And recognize matching bits. So, the way that you get your tiles is that there'll be 4 tiles face up, along with 4 animals from the bag. So you have a random stack of the tiles.
And you get a whole bunch of them. So depending on how many players you have is how many tiles you're going to start your game with.
Because that dictates when the game ends.
Yep.
When you can't refill the fourth spot, the game ends. And so I think it's 20 tiles per player plus 3 is how it works.
So everybody gets a starting tile
of
3, and you just pick them randomly, and that's what you start your map on. And then each turn, you take one that's face up that's got an animal token with it, and you pick the tile with the animal token, and you play them off that way.
And so when you take it, you can place the tile anywhere that's touching another tile, and you can put the animal anywhere that matches. It doesn't have to be placed on the tile that you drew.
Yeah, it just has to be placed on a tile that has that animal on the tile.
Although you might, in this case, a bear could go there, so you could put it there and put the bear on it, but you don't have to. If you, on some tiles that generally are one type of terrain, it'll have one animal on it, and it'll have a little pine cone symbol on it, a little arrow at the top. When you populate that area,
you have to put the animal on it first.
Yeah, when you put the animal on that area to cover it up, you get a pine cone, which is worth a point at the end of the game, but it also gives you some flexibility. Normally, you
got a nice. I'm interrupting you. You got a nice bag that has all the little tiles in it, and it makes such a pleasant sound when you're just mixing them up. But that way, you're randomly grabbing tiles.
And so normally, if I wanted this tile, mountains with a bear on it, I would have to take this elk tile with it. But I can discard one of my pine cones, basically giving up a point, and I could take whatever tile I want with whichever animal I wanted. So I could take the bear with the mountains, take the bear, put it somewhere, put the bear on it, and get my pine cone back. Or if I don't like any of these animals, you can discard a pine cone, set these aside,
refresh all 4,
draw 4 brand new ones, and then throw these in the bag. And it gives you a little bit of options there to mix this up. The one thing that you can't mix up are the terrain tiles. Those 4 are what's always going to be out there.
That's what you got to work with. And once someone takes that, you just take another one from the reserve, and next person goes. So if you also happen to have 3 animal tokens of the same animal, so 3 of the 4 are the same, you can choose. Right. Well, if it's 4, it automatically changes.
Yeah, 4 automatically.
So if you have 4 elk out here, it automatically gets discarded and 4 new ones come out. But if you have, let's say, 3 elk and 1 other animal, on my turn I can choose to get rid of those 3 elk and put out 3 new animal tokens, or I can play off of what I have. But you have a choice, and you don't have to pay a pine cone for it. So if it's 4 of the same, it's an automatic reshuffle. If it's 3, you can choose to reshuffle them.
I think we've probably covered everything.
That's the game.
So yeah,
very simple,
very pretty simple,
but fun.
And so I guess we can talk about components a little bit. I really like these Necco wafers that they have the animals printed on.
You call them Necco wafers. I call them wacky wafers. Anybody remember? Do you remember the Willy Wonka wacky wafers that I had when I was a kid? They were so good. Banana, strawberry. I think there was a grape flavor. Oh, they were so good, and you can't find them anywhere unless you find a nostalgic candy store.
You're lucky, because I remember the Necco wafers, and they weren't good.
No, they weren't good.
They're not.
Or the soda caps.
Yeah. Soda caps were good.
I didn't like the soda caps.
Anyways,
but wacky wafers.
These wooden bits, they're not part of a deluxe edition. They're part of the base game that you get. I think they're really good. I prefer those much better than if they did like cardboard punch outs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The tiles are functional. They're nothing to really.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to make them any different. They are a cardboard token. There's no need to upgrade that component. I mean, it works just fine as it is.
The art looks good,
yep.
And once you start putting the animals on them, you're covering up most of those anyways.
And you've got a nice colorful map when you're done, and it comes with a nice bag that says Cascadia on it that you put all your animal tokens in. shuffle them up.
So, and a decent sized score pad
you've
that's
got the score pad.
double-sided. So
if you're like Norm, he has an app on his phone that tracks all of our games, so we do all the scoring there to save on using up all of these. But
in the rule book, something that we haven't done is they have a lot of games have been starting to do this, where they have like achievements that you can accomplish and mark in the back. If you can play with all A animals and get over 80 points, then you fill this in and you put your name over here and you start traveling along this trail. And so once you've completed that, you can go on to these other achievements to try and complete. And then it's
Prairie.
Is
that what I called it earlier?
Yes.
Okay, good. It is the Prairie.
And it's a neat idea. I'm kind of reluctant to draw in my rule books, just in case at any time they need to leave. Somebody else might want to do those accomplishments.
Yeah, Norm's not one to. I mean, he sleeves all of his cards, which, I mean, why wouldn't you if you're a gamer? And we're not one to eat around our games, and so he really likes to keep his games as pristine as possible, which I appreciate because I hate sticky cards or damaged pieces.
Yeah, even our first few playthroughs of Gloomhaven, we specifically didn't mark anything up, and then this now that we're playing through with our son and we're doing a full thing, now we're putting the stickers on the board, we're marking it up, and that's going to be the canon,
the official keepsake.
Yeah, so that's going to be the end version. But
because here's the thing, we've had Frosthaven forever now, and we have yet to play it because we're doing this playthrough with David on Gloomhaven. I know it's not Cascadia, but I'm going to vent for a minute, and I'm ready to play Frosthaven. We've played Jaws of the Lion. We've played Gloomhaven numerous times ourselves, and I want to play Frosthaven. We haven't opened the stuff. We don't know what the characters look like. We sent them off and got them painted. We have a guy that does great work on our figures. So,
and we ship them in the individual boxes, and he ships them back in the individual boxes.
So we don't know what they look like. We don't know what they're supposed to look like. We're surprised when we open the box. We love it. We absolutely love it. But that's not Cascadia. So
this is Cascadia.
This is Cascadia.
So I guess review. What do you want to go first, or shall I?
I can, because then you'll influence me.
Okay.
Because then I'll think about what you have to say. So we're scoring? We're scoring.
So, game mechanism?
So here's the thing. Okay, so if you take this game and you compare it to, what's the last one we played? Great Western Trail. Totally different type games.
True.
But they could have the same scoring. So you can't compare those games.
That's why I do the like the game mechanics, and then modify it by the fun factor.
Okay, so
like this game is simple.
No, don't influence.
Okay.
Don't influence me. You'll plant stuff in my head. So I would say for mechanics and play ability, is that what your reference, whatever the 1 through 6 is?
7.
1 through 7? Okay, 1 through 7. I don't know how you would improve upon the base game. So I don't know, unless you upgrade this component of the pine cones. They're just little punch outs. But, I mean, who wants actual real replicas of pine cones? They're going to hurt your fingers every time you grab one. But I don't see the need to upgrade that. So I would say for what this game is, I would give it a 7. I don't see how you can improve upon this for it's such a good game for the simplicity of it. So I would say a 7, and I'll stick by it.
Sounds good. What
playability?
The 0 to 3, or I guess it could even go negatives if you have absolutely hated the game. You could be like, mechanisms are great. I don't know how you could fix it, but I
hate the game.
Hate playing it, so I'll give it a negative 7.
What's the one we got rid of that we did not like? I think we didn't like mechanisms either on it, but it was one of the city.
Oh yeah. Let's see. We've got Amsterdam here, so it was Hamburg.
Yes. Okay. Watch that review. Well, it's fine. It's fine if you haven't. If you like the game, good on you. Good on you. I didn't. Okay. Playability. 1 through 3. I would say it's a 2. It's not, why am I not playing this right now? It's not the greatest game I've ever played, but it is a simple, fun game. I enjoy it when we play it. I enjoy introducing new people to it. So I have no... Did I hear a dog howl or something?
There was a motorcycle.
Okay, there was a motorcycle. So I would give it a 2. I would play it if someone said, let's play the game. I would introduce new people to the game. And I would play it if someone said I would recommend it. So I'm babbling. I give it a 2.
So
that's
for
a 9.
Total of a 9.
That's a 9 for
Wow.
me. Wow.
So I'm similar to you in that I would give it a 7 for the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, I don't know how you would improve it. They are coming out with an expansion of landmarks or something like that. So maybe they will improve on it. We'll see what that does.
Wait, does that mean we're getting the expansion?
We have to decide if we're keeping this game first.
Well, just because we keep a game doesn't mean you get the expansion.
If it's a good game. So, anyways, I give it a 7 for that. But I would give it a 1 for the gameplay.
Okay.
It's one that I would, like you said, I'd break it out for new people. It's one I would almost describe this as almost like a coffee cake kind of game. Like
coffee cake kind of game.
Like this is when you play this game, you're not feeling the stresses of anything. You might pay attention to what they're building on the board because the person who has the largest grasslands gets bonus points over the other person. And so you might be like, okay, looking over there, they've got 3 grasslands. I need to make sure I got 4. Okay, I got 4. They put another one out. I need to make sure I put another one out so I get those bonus points. But there's not really not really any real constraints as to where you can put your tiles. You can just flow out. I have a nice little clump here. Hers is a little bit more spaced out, but there's nothing stopping me from putting out all these tiles in a straight line going there. There's nothing.
What's wrong with that?
It's like nothing. I have a
so you're saying this isn't
canvas.
Challenging enough for you?
This is like a crossword puzzle.
He doesn't like crossword puzzles. He doesn't
I
like...
love crossword puzzles.
I have never in all the years we've been married seen you play a crossword puzzle.
Generally, I don't like just sitting there and doing it myself. I don't like it when there's just stuff I don't know, and there's a lot of things I don't know, and so you'll read it and you'll just be like, well, that's something I don't know, so I guess that's not getting filled up. But
you're
word search.
You're kind of a... I don't want to say you're a board game snob, but I have called you that before. But so he doesn't like party games really. So when my family gets together, we love to play party games. He just kind of rolls his eyes and hates it, but he'll endure it if he has to.
It's not that I hate party games, as I hate certain party games.
He hates the party games that my family likes to play. So
I don't call dominoes a party game.
It's the train dominoes game.
I barely call it a game.
Oh, he's a game board snob. So you're saying that this game is just too simple, doesn't test your brain enough.
It is not even a negative. You're taking it as a negative.
Okay.
Like this, sitting down with a crossword puzzle and a cup of coffee is an enjoyable time.
That I've never seen you do.
That's true. Maybe sitting down with a good book and a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Anyways,
okay.
This is almost like a chill, relaxing
game.
See,
and I think that's what I like so much about it, because after a day of work, when I get home and you're like, let's play a game, my brain cells are done for the day. So he'll want to bring out these big board games or or some that just take a lot of brain power, and I just don't have the energy or the mental capacity to do it at the end of a work day. But if you say let's play this game, I'll be like, absolutely. So
yeah, it's not a negative, but that also means that I'm probably not going to be the one to be like, hey, let's play Cascadia.
right.
But if you're like, hey, I'm in the mood to play Cascadia, like if we're just sitting on the couch, you know, she's listening to a podcast or something, I'm reading a book, and she's like, hey, let's play Cascadia. It's like, yeah, you know what, that totally feels along
That's
the
the
same
mood right now.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. This fits right in there, and so that's the only reason I'm giving it the 1.
Okay.
And so that makes it an 8, which is still
That's still up there.
still a respectable game. It's just not
Still a respectable number.
so yeah, oh definitely. So I guess I'll go ahead and say yeah, it's one that I'm definitely going to keep because it's the type of game that you can show your parents and they'll play, and it's easy to grasp. There's not a whole lot of constraints as to
Right.
if they take a tile and start to put it somewhere. There's none of that. No, it can't go there. That tile can go anywhere you want as long as it's touching your other tiles. And can I put this fox here? Well, does the tile show a picture of a fox? If so, yeah, you can put your fox there. And so
Yeah.
it's such an easy, chill game to introduce people to the hobby, or just
Yeah, it's a really good introductory game.
or
I
just
think.
pass some time where you don't want to have your brain on hardcore. You can just be like, I'm just going to match stuff, and I'm going to match animals and see how I do.
That's right.
So, what about you? You want to keep it?
I'd say we keep it. It may not be one that we pull out on a regular basis, but it's one that we would definitely pull out for new people that aren't familiar with a lot of board games, who, when we say, oh yeah, we're big into board games, they think, oh great, we'll come play Monopoly Life, things like that. And we're like, you have no idea. And so this would be a good one to introduce. I think no, it wasn't this one. It was Quacks. I had a friend come in for the weekend and stay with us, and for free room and board, she just had to play board games with us. And she loves board games, just not the type that we have. So we introduced her to Quacks.
That's
I think
another
it was.
Nerdz Day.
That's another Nerdz Day. We'll have to be
covering.
covering that one fairly soon as well. So that kind of falls in line with this smooth, easygoing game. So yeah, I say we keep it.
There you go, Cascadia. It's the word search coffee drinking
Reading a book
of board games.
But just because we keep a game doesn't mean we get a expansion for it.
We'll see.
Because this is just fine as it is.
Yeah, but landmarks.
Like what?
I don't know. Maybe you get like the Lincoln Memorial and you just drop that down and you got like this mini of a.
I'd rather have like Yellowstone, because you don't know. This is Canada.
And the Taj Mahal, you got the Taj Mahal
That's
sitting
India.
there, and then Statue of Liberty, and you got
It's
all
New
these
York. You're not even in Canada.
big plastic minis.
Canada.
So the
that's
CN Tower.
What's the game that has the landmarks?
You think of Mosaic with the wonders?
Yeah.
So there you go. We just all they got to do is just repackage those, and boom, you put the Coliseum in the middle.
Oh, for heaven's sakes!
So looking forward to it. We'll have to do a review when that.
No,
when
we
that
did
comes
the Great Smoke, not the Smoky Mountains, the Rocky Mountains, the Niagara Falls. If we're talking Canada, we got to go along those lines. What else does Canada have?
All right, so you'll have the CN Tower, plastic mini you can put out here. I don't know, some poutine that you could set off.
That's only in Quebec.
Some lobster traps.
That's New Brunswick.
A glacier, that big glacier you put on there that slides across. So we'll see.
All right,
we'll
what
see.
province is the glaciers?
That would be British Columbia.
British Columbia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, Banff National Park. So
He's from Canada, if you haven't picked up on that.
there may have been a word or two that sneaks out that I sound.
Tomorrow and sorry and Anyway, we're digressing.
So this isn't Cascadia talk anymore. So we're just going to turn off the camera and continue this conversation amongst ourselves.
That's what we do.
So if you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment about your thoughts about Cascadia. Do you think it's more of like a tea drinking game than a coffee game?
That's right.
Or
hot tea.
Or maybe you like muffins and not coffee cake. You know, what's your experience with Cascadia?
Yeah. And so join us next time. Our next video will be another Nerdz Day haul. Who knows what that one might be.
And we'll try to get those done before Nerdz Day happens again.
In August, so we got a month or so. Month and a half.
Great.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Coffee.